From slightly challenging to near impossible, top players turning out to be hackers. Many rivalries take place, many races take place. Today, I'll be taking you on the absolutely mind-blowing journey and show you the hardest level ever created throughout the game's history. This is gonna be an absolutely crazy ride, so without any further ado, grab your snacks, get comfy, and here we go. So it's 2013 and a new game known as Geometry Dash has just launched. People are playing the game every day. Well, you might ask, what is so interesting about it? Well, you just jump over a triangle and whatever this is. 2013 was quite the interesting time for Geometry Dash as it was still relatively new at the time and not a lot of people have played it yet. Another interesting thing was that the game had a lot of levels, made by RobTop, the developer of the game, which you can access through this giant play button in the center of the screen, and community-made levels, which can be accessed through this little thingy right here. Back then, the editor really didn't have a lot of stuff, but people back then didn't really care. Levels would be given a rating from 1 to 9 stars depending on the difficulty of the level. This was a good concept to progress forward in the game, as beating harder levels would mean more stars, but we quickly ran into a problem. See, levels were sometimes too hard to beat just for a measly 9 stars, but then from the shadows, a brave player emerged. He would go on to make a level so hard, so difficult, so challenging, that it somehow had to bring justice into the difficulty system. It just had to. Who is the player, you might ask? Well, the player in question is M2 Cole. He would go on to make the level Demon Park in October 17th, 2013. And surprise, surprise, M2 Cole's idea worked. This level had not only managed to push the difficulty ceiling, but it had managed to be the cause of the birth of an entirely new difficulty. The difficulty in question being none other than the Demon difficulty. Instead of gifting 9 stars upon clearing a level with that difficulty, it gave you 10. Crazy, isn't it? This level would gain significant traction in the community as it was the hardest, most difficult map anyone had made at the time. This was so popular, in fact, that the creator of the game, RobTop him freaking self, picked it up. But even though this was considered extremely challenging for the time, this is nowhere near the hardest level in the game, as we will see going forward. After Demon Park, a few levels would make their way onto the servers that would also go on to be placed at the Demon difficulty. Right now, we have GG Boy cooking up something. What is he cooking up? The level in question being Cataclysm. This map was tough to say the least. It featured a super difficult wave section right at the beginning with some hard timings, tight sections, and some light memory spread throughout the level. Needless to say, this map was quite the challenge. This level was verified by GG Boy and uploaded onto the servers on 3rd January 2015. This map was no joke, not at all, but players actually picked up something. They observed that the map was actually not the most difficult thing after the first wave. I'll take that as a good thing, along with many other people at the time. Many people went for the kill on Cataclysm, including Cyclic, the first victor, Riot, unsurprisingly, and many more. But then, a few days later, GG Boy would make a confession. The confession was that he hacked verified Cataclysm. It was not legitimately beaten. Well, nobody really cared at the point because it had already been verified by Cyclic. Well, let's go on. The player Riot and Cyclic now had some sort of race going on. They both wanted to see who was better at the game, and now that they had their records even with both beating Cataclysm, it was time to set their sights on something much, much bigger. Both of them realized that they're not gonna be any more top 1 levels after this, so they decided to make their own. But not together, no. Instead, they went on to make their own levels. Let's shift our focus to Riot's level for now. Riot revealed that he was making an extremely difficult map with a bunch of other skilled creators of their time, including Crack, Giron, Havoc, Michigan, and the list just goes on. The map being none other than Bloodbath itself. The map was so difficult, and when Riot began his verification process, it took him many tries, many fails, many attempts, but he slightly had it easier due to two main factors. Those being, A, players verifying their own levels will always have an idea of what's coming up ahead. This gives them more time to react to the level. And B, his new shiny 144Hz monitor. Now, how exactly does 144Hz affect Geometry Dash? Well, it's quite simple, really. See, basically, the higher your refresh rate, the higher your FPS. And the higher the FPS, the more frames you have to click in a second, leading to much less input lag, much like how I explained in my previous video. In short, a higher FPS equals less input lag and smoother physics. Hope that explained quite a bit. Anyways, this is what you get when you give the best Geometry Dash player a 144Hz monitor.
Oh my god!
He finally did it. He finally verified Bloodbath. Well, good for him, but meanwhile, in the background, Cyclic was cooking something of his own. That being none other than the infamous Sonic Wave. This map was basically a reskin of 9 Circles by Zobros, and infinitely more challenging in difficulty. This map was just over 2 minutes in length, making it hard to maintain consistency at. But Cyclic wanted to win the race. And with Riot recently taking the lead, this might have just gotten a bit harder for him. He then eventually verified the level though, good for him. However, what was not so good for him was that people accused him of hacking, and without video proof of him actually verifying the level, RobTop decided that he will not rate the level. This gave Cyclic a boost of motivation, and then he super buffed the level from what was pretty damn hard at the time to something that was, well, basically impossible. Cyclic would then go on to verify that version of Sonic Wave, this time with video proof. This temporarily got the community off his back, and they just went forward with their lives. But then Cyclic would drop a bombshell on the entire community. He was hacking. This finally cleared every suspicion that the players had against him, and Sonic Wave was once again unrated. Until a determined Riot popped in on the scene. He was gonna verify Sonic Wave and save this level from falling into darkness. He started making fast progress on the level when all of a sudden, a player named Sonix showed up. He started making some extremely fast progress on the level, but when he decided to drop it, out of respect for Riot, he was in the race first, and Sonix was just gonna steal the spotlight away from him. But then Sonix accidentally beat it on a live stream while he was supposed to be practicing the level. This caused Riot to get a bit demotivated, and he quit the game a while later, unsurprisingly. Anyways, that's it for today. This video will be too long for me to edit all together, so this video will be split into 2 parts. I'll see you later when part 2 is done. Peace.